There's a view of the workings in front of me. It's pretty promising, except we've already walked around and every single adit has been bulldozed shut with large boulders. So we're not getting anything on this side. So it's good not to give up on the abandoned mines though. We're gonna look around some more, get over the hill, and see what else, if anything, might be here. But so far, not looking too promising. So we came around the other side of the hill. Things are looking a little more promising over here. There are more workings over here. There's a little adit behind me here. And then over here, there's what looks like a bigger one. And I'm basing that on all the waste rock down there. And looks like maybe the remains of a mill building. And that's our packs down there. Looks like stuff came out of there. Hopefully you can see that in the bad light. And was run out over to there. So we're gonna get suited up and head in there. Just inside the portal. Looks pretty featureless so far, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. All the rails gone, as you can see, but the airline is still here. That's the thing on the right. You can see there was rail. See the ties in front of us. Very wide up here. Little mineralized pocket right there. Some scraps of wood tossed around. Looks like somebody had a bonfire back here. It's always a good idea to have fires underground. Looks like they actually had like a place where you could pass mine cars, or ore cars, I mean, because you see there's ties there and ties there. So it seems like they had a junction of sort here. An ore chute. Huh. Actually not plugged. I don't see that too often.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. Definitely skinnied up. It's a lot less wide now. Ore chute right there. And hard to tell what else so far. Wow, that's a really reinforced ore chute. See all those timbers? This is wood. That's, yeah, I can see why they had that reinforced. See how much smashed down. And this isn't looking so good up here. Got ore chute here, which looks pretty well built. And then we just end right here. And it looks like there's a chute to the right. There's this ore chute. This actually, that must connect to the surface, because see the Budweiser can back there and all the stuff looks like it tumbled down from the surface. I wonder if that ties into open stope or shaft or something. Yeah, this is another ore chute, except this one failed. See, that one's plugged as well. It's got that metal chute. And like I said, that's the end of the line. Taking a closer look at things back here, I noticed the safety fuse box, which is kind of cool. And we actually do have the rail back here as well, as you can see. There's the end of the adit there. We've got this ore chute in front of us, and series of ladders and platforms running up. So that seems like a good place to go next, since we're out of other options. Just climbed up the ladders there, and there's a whole drift level up here. This is the Grizzly for the ore chute that we climbed up. See the rail going there and the really badly abused logs. So it would have dumped the material there and it would have fallen through down there. That's where the ore chute is. And then, like I said, we've got some nice drift action running off there, there, and there. And if that's not good enough, this keeps going up as well. That's where we just climbed up, and we're going to start with this drift behind us. This is looking down through the Grizzly to where that other ore chute that we passed was. That's the one that was plugged down there. You see the ladder down there. Now, something really cool here that is also very rare is that this is square set timbering. That is exceptionally rare. Through there, and then there's a little pocket back here. More than a pocket. I think that's the end. Yeah, that ends there. But like I said, the big thing here is all this square set timbering overhead. Looks like they were working up there. You can see the boards they're using as a platform, and then you've got air lines running up there. So it looks like they were in the process of making a raise here. It's not often that we see that when it's sort of half done. Usually we'll just see the raise without any of the infrastructure to accompany it. So that's pretty cool. You see the square set extends over there. You've got an ore chute right there. And I'll get a different perspective for you. Crossed over the Grizzly. Wow, look at the size of that timber. Yeah, that's where they were working up there. I'm going to climb up this little ladder in front of me and give you a better sense of what I'm talking about. I just climbed up that ladder. You can see the top of the ore chute / ore bin right there. There's another drift level up here that runs that way. I'm going to show you more of that in a second. First, I want to show you what's behind me. You've got this huge stope chamber here. That's the rail. You can see my friend for scale. Massive amount of gobbing. And the drift house going on wraps around and back through here. But I'll get to that after I finish here. So what I was trying to explain is that from down below, you see those boards there? They were working up. You see how that's cleaned out up there? They were working up, and that's how they were doing it. The tree would get dropped down. There's the underside of that chute. Actually a little trail running down that I didn't see before. And then, as I said, behind me is this, I guess it's a sub-level. It's got that look. It's got the air lines coming back here, so. This must connect because I see a light, unless there's another mine explorer back here. Big stope chamber here. And it's probably deeper at one point, but looks like they filled it in. And then that keeps dropping down there, and there's more stoping here and up there. Now, since I'm already going this way, and I think it must wrap back around, I'll keep going. We're stoped up there, and then this must corkscrew down to the drift, so I'll pick up down there. Just climb down from there. You can see there was stoping that ran back that way, but it's completely filled in now. they started adrift there, but let it go. Heading out this way, which I assume is going to wrap back to where I was. Somebody was picking away at the ribs of the adit here. You can see the, hopefully, the sparkly minerals there. There's a drill mark there. So that means the miners were pushing this direction, the direction I came from. Oh, looks like they stoped all this out. A heavily stoped area. Up there as well. Got some stoles here. More gobbing. And this is... So that leads back to where I started. I didn't realize it just kept going that way as well, so we'll head down that next. Those are the workings that I climbed up to, or I should say the infrastructure I climbed up to initially. We'll take a closer look at all that when we get back over there, but for now, let's see where it keeps going to. It's unusual to see infrastructure this intact in a mine. We still have the air line, the water line, rail, all of it. Okay. That's a drill hole right there. So this is the direction they were going. This may not go too much farther. Our infrastructure has disappeared. Looks like they blasted this and then just kind of left it and didn't finish it. Definitely no more forward progress. That's the end there, but for some reason they decided to change their mind and do a 90-degree jump to the left. So let's see where that goes. Got our infrastructure back. Something's dropping down there. See those airlines going down there? And that is just the end right there. So obviously we've got to see where this drops down to. Just dropped down from there, and I've come into quite the twisty turny bit of workings here. See it, that's looking straight ahead, which is dead ends. Then we do another 90-degree left turn, another 90-degree right turn this time. Looks like there's a vein of something there. This is very small. That's what I'm looking for. This is very small. Seems like exploratory. That's pretty unexpected, but interesting at the same time. Gotta appreciate that. Huh. This mine keeps giving. And right when I said that, we faced out. So I would guess that this was exploratory in nature. But there is some interesting mineralization here. So we'll backtrack to that infrastructure I was geeking out about. Back at that square set, and I haven't shown you this little loop here. And there's more stoping up there. I just find this very photogenic with the rail and the way it wraps through here, and all the Budweiser cans. The goal with timbering in a situation like this is to not leave any void, because void makes room for the rock to shift and fall. So you want to create as much pressure and just fill that in completely. So that's what the miners did there. And then this takes me back to where I went up there. And just because it's square set, I'm going to give you another view of it, because square set is so unique. Back where we came up right there, and we've decided to stick to the right. So we're gonna head down this drift next. Do you remember that failed ore chute that was at the end of the adit we came in on? This is it. And you can see all the plugged material there, and it looks like it was being used as an ore pass because you can see that leading up and it's scoured pretty smooth, so imagine they were dumping a bunch of rock down it. So another ore chute here in front of me, which I see a massive boulder sticking out the back end of it, which appears to have pretty much plugged that up. It's the end of this drift. There is infrastructure leading up that way. Looks like there's another level up there. Yeah, see, it looks like they had a chute here dumping material down. That's also where all these rocks in front of me came. Pretty easy to get up there. This, you can see some of the infrastructure up there as well. This behind me that goes up to the next level will be easy to go up, but I want to finish out this level first. We just looked down there, and now we have this wood-filled drift with a very precarious looking slab right there. See, that's just kind of hanging down with air gaps all around it, looking like it wants to come out at any time, along with what's above it. Good stuff. This has rail looking ahead, which is always a positive indicator. And I'm not sure why all the wood is here. Nice, keeps running ahead. Cap and post timber set. It gets wide again. And as I speculated in the drift below, or the adit below, about the ore cars being able to pass each other, here is an example of that in front of me. That's pretty cool. And I see a tall chamber in front of me with that wooden infrastructure. It looks pretty cool. So, stoped out overhead with a pretty good echo. You can see the, looks sort of half square set timber supports here. As I said, there's an ore chute. Really intact ore chute. Got the metal chute there. Got nice big bolts. And you can see what they were emptying back there. And there's more burned wood in here, which I find very odd. Looking ahead, there's an old hose line down there too. It seems like that might connect to the surface. Wow, this is really cool. Look at this perspective here. Running ahead, and look how tall and skinny this is. That's so cool. And there's the back is very flat, very squared off. And we've got this stone cathedral here with a good echo. Spool or empty spool of something. Wow. This is very, very cool. Still have the rail. And it gets a bit messy here. And burned. Who is burning all this stuff? Looks like we've got something going up there. I wonder if that goes to the surface. Another reason I'm speculating about the connection to the surface is because look at the stuff that's down here. The garbage can, the gas can, just all the garbage and junk in general down here. I'll bet it's plugged. No, actually, you know what? I think I might have seen a glimmer of daylight up there. This is all burned out, unfortunately, so I don't have any way to get up there, but see, burned here, and then, yeah, definitely see daylight. See that pinprick of daylight up there? And like I said, unfortunately, it's all burned out. See, I don't know if you can tell the edge of the chute there is all burned out, but definitely goes to the daylight right there. You can see, looks like they had an airlines here running out. And just looking back here. That's the end, obviously. I'm just seeing if there's any equipment. Looks like a spool, can or something. We just finished looking back there. We're back at the ore chute that we came up here, and we still have this thing behind it that is running up, so we decided to come up here, and we still have that other drift, or it looks like a sub-level. We could climb up over there on that rock pile, but for now we'll just keep running this up. Just climbed up there, and I'm on the next level up. There's rail and stuff over there. There's continuation of this up to there. I don't even know where that goes. There's drift heading off in this direction. A lot of mineralization here. I want a Guinness. That's my favorite beer. Usually see this kind of beer, so I'm pleased to see that kind of beer. Higher class mine explorers. Got stuff running off there, and I'll bet this loops over to that section I was thinking it might come up. Yep. Remember we looked up this from down there? Came up the easy way. There's, looks like a sub-level up here. Yeah. Sub-level up there. Looks like they're even using a wheelbarrow just to dump material down. Go check that out too. There's a grizzly. Oh, remember I talked about that failed ore chute down there, and I said it must be an ore pass. This is the top of that, the grizzly right here. And then got something up there. Oh, I bet this is that sub-level I looked up to just a second ago. I think I'm gonna go check that out. I just climbed up from there, and stope chamber here. The sub-level I looked up to from where they were dropping material down is here. I just looked up here. I was filming from down there a moment ago. That's that way up, potential way up with all the rock debris in it. Let's see what might be up here. More burned wood, of course. There's that running back to there. There is more stuff up here. A lot of arrows going that way. Something running off to nothing. Got some wood scraps. Looks like the remains of a canvas tarp. Cable.
Is there a vent?
Is that vent bag?
Yeah.
Dust covered vent bag. More of it. And I'm not sure why they had it. Unless this was just being used for storage. That's it. Just looked up there. I'm at this junction here, there's a little chamber. That's where we just were, looking back there. So we've got drift running that way with rail. We've got, looks like a lot of stope chamber action here. And rail going this way through the stope chambers. This gallery of pillars looks pretty cool. I like the layout of this mine. It's like a muck sheet right there. Yeah, I am into the layout of this mine. More pillars, more infrastructure. I think that's where, I think that's down where we came in. I've got my bearings about me. Yeah, okay. Here is, this is cool, this perspective. This is the top of that square set. See, they cleared out a little bit over there. That's the ladder I climbed up to get back to all this stuff. And back there, see the rail junction there. And I didn't realize it at the time, but they were obviously running material out on this trestle I'm on and dumping it down the ore chute directly beneath me. So they had a lot going on here. And like I said, this is a pretty cool perspective. I'm glad we're able to see all of it. You know, we've seen each stage. We've seen the very bottom down there. We've seen the middle. Now we're getting a good view of the top. And I can't remember if I overlooked anything back here. That's where we climbed up to just now to get to this level. That's where we climbed up. Got all these pillars back here. I've got to give this mine very high marks for the layout. The square set, the rail infrastructure, twisty turny action, the gallery of pillars. Big fan. So what we haven't been down yet is what's down that way. If you'll remember, we came in through that section. So feel some breeze. There's a rock and such tossed back here. As I said, I feel some cooler air. Looks natural. Got fairly primitive ore chute here, fairly simple. Just bent the metal in half. So there must be a little stope chamber back there. Doesn't really look like much. If you're curious about it, we can check it out on the way out. Right now I'm more curious about what's ahead. This is cool. Oh, look at that classifier. Big classifier right there. And that little stope we were just checking out is that chamber up there. I don't think we're missing anything, but I will check on the way out just to be sure, and if there's anything, I'll show you. Bunch of gobbing all around. Just a little pocket. Huge drill holes. And drift continues. Oh, big chamber over here. This reminds me of the placer mines, how you've just got these huge chambers with all kinds of rock waste just piled up. Take a quick peek in here on the way out as well, just to make sure we're not missing anything. rail continues in this direction. Little pocket right there. Yeah, that's the end right there. I have a junction in front of me. Something running off to the right. Something running off to the left. Just a little pocket here with a bunch of scraps of wood. Right or left? I think I'll go left. Some ground fall. Bends around. Pretty good stope here. All the way up to there. It's probably 40 feet up at that point. Got a stole really jammed in there. Just a little pocket there. Looks like this might dead end. It looks like they did run down on this and then they backfilled it. And there's looking up to stope above. Stope chamber there that was getting emptied by this ore chute. Not plugged. Not plugged at all. It's nice to be able to see the stope, get a full view of the stope, and see a good view of the ore chute. Usually you see the stope or the ore chute, you don't get both. Oh yeah, see how this did drop down a fair way. Now we've got that drift. That's going to the right up here, which is now on our left. This one. Okay, I think I see my friend's lights up ahead. Pretty big stope chamber here. And a lot of gobbing here. There's another chamber over here. More burned wood, of course. Drops down to quite a lot, actually. A lot down here. There's stuff running off over here. I'll bet this ties into that chamber. Yeah, this is that chamber we looked on it earlier. Remember the wood right there? Another view of that. And then I'll drop down there and just see what's down there. I was just up there and I've come down into this stope chamber. You see they backfilled a lot of material down here. That's all waste rock. They just didn't bother hauling it out. When they had a big chamber here they could fill up. My friend sneezing, not a ghost. More waste rock backfill. And there's this board here leading what looks like to a little sub-level. A lot of muck sheets back here. There is a sub-level back here. That just wraps around and goes back to the stope. I was just checking out. And then this demands to be investigated. We have an ore chute here dropping down to a very clear sub-level. And I'm excited to see that. We are just standing up there. I've dropped down into the sub-level. Let's see where it goes. Huh, not too far actually. That is the end right there. And there is obviously an ore chute there. Not sure if we passed where that comes down or not. I'm actually really surprised they have all this. Actually, you know why? It makes sense, because they were emptying that stope. and they were lowering an ore car and then bringing it around and dumping it down here. That's what was going on. We just finished checking out that chamber down there, and now I've got to finish running out this drift. More wood scraps and muck sheets and real nice cool air. A lot of stope chambers back here. Looks like, is that a cap for a drill or is that something else? Nope, not a cap. I don't know what that is. More stoping activity to the left. More rocks to stumble over underneath me. Another stope chamber. And they obviously dropped material down there.
You got that time activated booby trap, right, to seal that ore off.
Yeah, that looks really sketchy. Get a close look at that for you guys. That looks really bad. You have all those rocks. I don't even know what's holding them together, that are getting ready to drop on whoever goes down there. So it's probably going to be me. And that's the extent of the stope up there. So I'll slide down there and get a look at things. I'm down at that chute, and something I didn't see from a distance was a skeleton giving us a high five.
He's telling you to stop.
You know what? It's all in how you interpret it. I interpret that as a high five. So, high five, skeleton. And then I'm going to twist down there and pick up somewhere down there. Just slid down through there, and we're in a new drift level. So obviously, they had the ore car run up to that point to collect what was coming down that stope, and then they would wheel it out this way. I'm not sure to what yet, but definitely feeling the cool breeze. Another chamber with what looks like collared shaft right there. There's a view up above us, and then down at our feet is this. So I don't know why they had out the shaft, but also seem to have stuff dropping down as well. Looks like platform down there, bunch of other stuff, so we'll have to get down there and see what it looks like. I just climbed down from up there, and I'm on top of what I believe is an ore chute. Looks like they had a grizzly set up here. There's no other drifting down here. That just stops there, and then behind me you've got some air lines. So this must lead into something decent, because they were either running airlines down to something or up from something. It is plugged up beneath me. That might be a level down there. You can't really see that, can you? I've got to figure out how to get over to that so I can get a view down for you. Hold on. All right, that's looking down to the drift level below. And I see what looks like some plastic sheeting down there. But I don't know any way to get down there. I don't know where that drift is, or that adit is. I'm back at this raise that we need to keep following up. In case you need further context. That's the Guinness can there. There's a newspaper here. Something about Yasser Arafat. And the date on it is Saturday, November 18th, 2000. So not an old cool one from the 1930s or 1800s or whatever. We've got raise. Again, as a refresher, we came up from down there. So now I gotta climb this ladder and start working way up to there. I'll pick up somewhere up there. I just climbed up the raise from down there, and I was afraid when it's coming up it's just gonna dead end, but fortunately it doesn't. There's a little chamber here. We have workings with an air line leading off in that direction. Workings with no air line leading off in this direction. Since I'm already facing this way, might as well run this out. Okay, that's... I don't know if... I'm trying to think if we looked in there or not. Seems like a stope chamber. We might have looked in there. It's hard to keep track of your bearings at this point in this mine. Just gonna try and not fall down there. Let's see where this goes. Pretty crumbly, fractured rock back here. See what I mean? You would think it'd be crumbled and slabbed out all over the place here, but it doesn't seem to be. There's something up ahead. I think I might even see daylight. Ooh. Very badly caved stope or something right there. Probably something that ties to the surface, given the water. Evident, you know, see the dried mud down there? And trash. I'm guessing that's something that crashed down from the surface. I do feel a little airflow here. There's something running off to the left, which just dead ends right here. It's like a piece of vent pipe right there. And then this has got to go to the surface because I see dried mud. And that looks more modern. But this has been obliterated. Whatever was here is long gone. I wonder. I bet this is one of those adits that was intentionally destroyed. This looks like they were trying to screen off an adit, and it got intentionally bulldozed because I feel like a little bit of air. So I bet all the stuff in here is from before this got plugged up. And also I'm saying that because it looked like somebody chainsawed this open. I'm gonna turn the light off for a second and see if I can see. Yeah, I can get my headlight off too. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. See the little speck of daylight right there? We just looked down there, came in there, and now we've got this direction to check out. All right, running ahead on this drift or adit with the airline going down it. Pretty featureless right now. I see something up ahead. Can't tell if that's rock that's coming down or what that is up there. We'll see momentarily. Looks like it goes to the left. Looks like they were running ahead. Ooh. And there is daylight. A lot of it. Yeah. We ran it out, viewers. We ran it out, dear viewers. There is the outside world. Just inside the portal, got a rail in front of me. something going off to the left, but I want to check out a little nest right there. I want to check out what's ahead first. I feel cool air. There's a little chamber here and there and here that runs up. There's a stope there, and look at that plastic on the ground right there. I think I just solved a mystery. You remember when I was up on top of that ore chute looking down, I saw some plastic? That's where I was looking down. So that's good. That was bugging me because I couldn't figure out what I was tied into. So there you go. Problem solved. And there are the airlines I observed coming out this way. Full circle back. That is the main portal that we went into. Back outside, taking a look around. This is a better look at what I believe was the tram station for this mine. Unfortunately, it was burned. You can see the burned post right there. And there's not much left. You can see the remains, hopefully, on the camera. You can see the remains of a large wheel down there, which I'm assuming ran the tram down the mountain. A lot of metally bits. And I'm afraid not much else, but something kind of cool. You can see they literally carved out a big block from the mountain, blasted it out to put the tram station here. I bet this tram station was impressive. I would like to have seen it. Assuming they had, you know, the rail coming out from the portal there, just some sort of trestle, and then onto the tram. Down here looking around more closely at the tram station, or the remains of the tram station, which we think was also an ore bin, and I think my friend pieced it together pretty well. You mind telling me what you pieced together?
Seems like the biggest ore bin we've ever seen. All these sheets are the liner of the bin, which we've seen before, just always on a smaller scale. There's about 6 ore chute doors, and they've all got roller assemblies or roller locks of some sort, and you can see the hinged arm to open and close them. And they could have been electric too, as you see an electric panel, but there's nothing else indicative of a mill or some other operation. No other infrastructure beyond what looks like an ore bin. And then you've got the gigantic wheel for the tram system that we know went down the hill quite a ways, and it was probably set up over on those concrete pads on a large frame. These C-clamp looking pieces of hardware, I'm just speculating, are part of the wooden frame structure. And I guess lucky for us, when it burned, it fell back into the building instead of tumbling down the cliff a couple hundred feet. So at least we still get to see it. And you can see the brake drum, part of the brake pad still exists. Obviously there's cable still, but it was probably a substantial tower sitting right here. And unfortunately, it looks like speculation again, I'm going to say maybe 1980s. It got set on fire. There's some modern batteries that are burned in this pile, so I don't think this is that old. And we've seen some graffiti, a lot of graffiti and candy wrappers from the 80s. So it kind of fit that that's when this was burned. It's very unfortunate for us and everybody else. This was probably one of the biggest ore bins we would have ever seen.
Like I always say, these things are disappearing quickly. I know the light is not great, but here is a better look at that wheel for the tram. You can see, well, hopefully you can see how substantial it was. And then over here, a good view of the rollers on the gates. You can see how they would have simply ridden up and down to let the ore out. That is pretty cool. There's a better perspective on what we've been working our way through. That's the tram station, ore bin there. And the waste rock piles are a lot bigger than they seem from up above. So, good view of that. And we came over here, actually. Oh, by the way, You probably can't see it in the camera, but you can see the cable from the tram line littered and scattered around in the valley down there. Or not the valley, the bottom of the canyon, or the wash. But we came over here to check things out because we saw that stacked rock and pipe there, which just ends by those Joshua trees there. But it runs all the way through here, and it would not have been easy to stack up all that rock. All the way through here, drops down, down, all, you probably can't tell, but essentially the bottom of the canyon. So, not sure why, but probably water getting pumped up for some reason for the drills. Although I'm not sure how old this mine is. I don't know if this mine had more modern drills or not. But either way, probably water getting pumped up here for some reason. This is a picture of what's left of the mill at the bottom of the wash, or the canyon, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't look like much now, but it used to be a pretty impressive sight. In fact, it was even prominently featured in a Roy Rogers Western. In that film, you can clearly see how they used to tram the ore down from the mountain behind the mill for process. I'm going to post links in the description below the video to the scene in the film where the mill appears, and I'm also going to post links to historical pictures of the mill. I would encourage you to check them out. I think it's pretty interesting to see that. And then, of course, I'll also include the story about the game, about Bob Lord, about the Hollywood legends like Roy Rogers that were here, and some other details which I think you'll also find interesting. And again, all that will be in the description below the video.